And after a warrant was issued for his arrest following that terrible drag racing accident, Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice has surrendered to authorities.
So starting July 1st of 2024, the laws relating to racing on the highways in Florida are changing. The Florida Legislature has increased the penalties and created new provisions that will affect anyone that is charged with this crime in the state of Florida. So the crime of racing on the highways includes a lot of activities, including racing, street takeovers, stunt driving, speed exhibitions, and more. It applies to highways, roadways, and parking lots. An officer doesn't need a warrant to make an arrest, and even a first-time offense will result in a mandatory driver license revocation for at least a year. So the penalties were already harsh, but the legislature now has made them even harsher. So let's go over some of the changes. For first-time violations, the maximum possible fine is now going to increase from $1,000 to $2,000. So the fine range is going to be between a minimum of $500 and a maximum of $2,000. And the mandatory driver license revocation is going to remain 1 year. For second-time violations, the offense is enhanced from a first-degree misdemeanor to a third-degree felony if the offense is within 1 year of the prior conviction. It used to be within 5 years and it remained a misdemeanor, but now they've increased it to a felony and reduced that time frame to 1 year between the offense and the prior conviction. The fine range for this second-time violation within 1 year is increasing to a minimum of $2,500 and a maximum of $4,000. And the mandatory driver license revocation is going to remain 2 years. For third-time and subsequent violations, the offense is enhanced to a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years. And if the third or subsequent offense is within 5 years of the prior conviction. So a third or fourth or fifth or sixth violation, if it's within 5 years of the prior conviction, then you're facing a second-degree felony. Now, the fine range is also increased to a minimum fine of $3,500 up to a maximum fine of $7,500. And the mandatory driver license revocation will remain 4 years. There's also a new penalty if emergency vehicles are impeded while they're responding to an emergency. And this is going to be a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison. And a second or subsequent offense of racing on the highways and impeding an emergency vehicle is a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years, with a mandatory 4-year driver's license revocation. The new law also creates a new penalty when there are 10 or more vehicles or a street takeover operated in an organized manner and engaged in racing as defined in the statute. This is going to be a third-degree felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison, and the fine range is going to be between $2,500 and $4,000 with a mandatory 2-year driver license revocation, and the vehicle can be seized if engaged in purposefully impeding traffic, so they can take the vehicle. The new law also authorizes the impoundment or immobilization of the vehicle for 30 business days, which the statute already authorized that. But it now includes impounding or immobilizing the vehicle, even if it isn't owned by the person that was charged by the offense. And finally, for spectators of racing on highways, they are subject to a non-moving violation, and the new law sets the fine at $400. Now, one interesting thing to note about this statute is that the 4th District Court of Appeal has previously held that this law is unconstitutionally vague. However, the 1st District Court of Appeal has held that it is not unconstitutionally vague. This has created a circuit split, and the 1st District certified the question to the Florida Supreme Court to resolve the issue. Unfortunately, the Florida Supreme Court has not resolved the issue, And it doesn't appear that any other district courts have weighed in on the issue. So courts in those districts are free to decide for themselves whether the law is unconstitutional.